Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Courage Economy podcast. So, this is the first one, so it's going to be a little weird and a little rough, but we're going to make the best of it because this is going to be a weekly, maybe even more than weekly thing. My objective with this is to talk about the courage economy, obviously, and give everybody some insight into what the courage economy is, what the courage economy can do for you, and look at topical events that are happening in the news that could reasonably relate to the courage economy, and hope probably mostly things that are not great. And we can talk about how a courageous organization would have handled that differently and what that might look like differently. So, for those of you who don't know, Thane Belomo, author of the forthcoming book, The Courage Economy. I'm an organizational development consultant, executive coach. I've been helping organizations for about 30 years understand how to most effectively form and function, how leaders can most effectively lead their organizations for the best results, for the optimal results, not only for the organization, though, but for the people working in it. I truly believe, and I've seen in the best case circumstances, that the objective of having a business that works well, meaning returning shareholder value, right? And the flourishing of people within that organization are not mutually exclusive. That they can, should, and optimally be both happening at the same time. That when people are flourishing in an organization, they're helping the organization to grow. And then people are flourishing even more. And we create a virtuous cycle of flourishing for both the organization and its people. I think that often we get into this spot where the organizational objectives are seen as exclusive to the objectives of the people working in it. And that's not true. It shouldn't be true. And the courage economy is a way and a framework to make both of those happen at the same time. So, what is the courage economy? The courage economy is essentially a framework, like every other person like me out there has a framework. Well, this is a framework too. But this is a framework that's grounded not in sort of exhorting you to be more honest, or exhorting you to hold people more accountable, or exhorting you to do anything. Simply telling people to do something never works, right? Most people already know what they need to do or should do. I know that I need to lose like 15 pounds, and I've had to lose 15 pounds for like forever. And I know exactly what to do. Just freaking eat less, Thane. Exercise more, Thane. But I don't do it. Why don't I do it? Well, I don't know. A, I don't hate myself enough, or I don't see a payoff in it as much. I mean, I'm not a young man anymore. What am I trying to get fit for? I don't know. Anyway, I know what to do. I know how to do it, but I don't do it. In most organizations, it's the same dynamic. Leaders know what to do. They know actually how to do it probably, but they just don't do it. Their belief system, their reward structure, the incentive structure in that organization doesn't require them to do it. So the courage economy is born out of this idea that I had about the lie economy, as I call it. So most organizations are steeped in what I call the lie economy. The lie economy is, and you all know this well, anybody that's worked in an organization for any length of time understands that they are swimming in a sea of lies. Now, we can call them fibs or half-truths or lies of omission or whatever euphemism you want to put on them, but they're all just lies. And where do those lies come from? The lies come from two places. One is the idea or the act of designing and optimizing your culture for comfort. This is something that almost all organizations do. We have this idea in our head that the organization should be frictionless, that everybody should get along. And as long as everybody's playing nice together, the organization will be able to accomplish its goals and everybody will be happy. But when you optimize an organization for comfort, meaning I'm a leader and I don't want to have a tough conversation, or I don't want to make a tough decisions, or I don't want to give, harsh feedback, right? When you optimize for comfort, you are leaving the door open for lies, because comfort, an organization optimized for comfort is an organization optimized for lies. It's an organization that avoids the uncomfortable conversation. It's an organization that avoids the critical and negative feedback. It's an organization that avoids arguing and debating and wrestling with ideas in a way that makes sure that we have the best outcome, because it's uncomfortable. And so it requires the lie. It requires soft pedaling and soft shoeing and telling the white lie and the fib. The second reason is that it's not only optimized for comfort, but the gap between comfort and what has to be is the wedge where the malicious actors can actually use malicious lies. And we all know them. In every organization, right, there's those few, and everybody knows who they are, who are running around, the politicos and the backstabbers and the politicians and the people who are trying to, frame everything in terms of their brand and making sure that they're seen as the best. And we know those people. Those people can exist because we optimize for comfort. And you create, in the end, not a comfort economy, but a lie economy. And in a lie economy, you incur what I call management debt. Management debt is the accumulated cost of these thousands and thousands of lies that happen all the time. Lies that, for the most part, we're like, oh, it's just a white lie. It's just, whatever. It doesn't really cost anything, right? No, it costs something. It might be a tiny bit, but it costs something. And that tiny cost is management debt. And when there's thousands, millions of lies that happen all the time, that management debt adds up. And it adds up in organizations that are what I call sort of cover your ass organizations. It ends up as slow decision making. It ends up that everybody around you is always trying to figure out what's true and what's not true. Who can I trust? Who do I not trust? Do I make this decision? If I do, then am I going to get slammed for it? I better not make the decision. If I object to something, can I trust that nobody's going to kill me for it? Maybe I should keep my mouth shut. So the innovative capacity of your workforce, right, is subdued. It is swimming through a sea of lies. And a lot of people might say, well, that's just the cost of doing business, Thane. That's just how it works. It's called office politics. And you have to be good at office politics. That's just a byproduct of how human beings interact, and we sort of just accept it. And I'm here to tell you that you don't have to accept it. Organizations don't have to run on a lie economy. They can create what I call a courage economy, and it's an economy where lies are not currency. Truth is currency. It's an organization where telling the truth is less costly than telling the lie. It's an organization where being courageous is the most rational choice. Right now, it's inverted. Most organizations, being courageous is not the most rational choice. Being courageous is the least safe choice. Lying is the rational choice. And again, I'm not saying this because everybody is malicious and evil. The structure of the organization incentivizes this. And it incentivizes it, like I said, because it's grounded in a comfort economy. And a courage economy is not grounded in comfort. It's not grounded in discomfort for the sake of discomfort, but it's grounded in the idea that when people are together doing truly important work that matters to them, lies are less likely. Lies become not the rational choice. Truth becomes the rational choice. So I'll leave you with this. When was the last time you were involved in something that was truly important to you? I mean, really. Maybe it had something to do with your kids. Maybe it had something to do with your church or whatever. Anything that was like absolutely true. Are you going to tolerate half-truths and lies? Are you going to tolerate that? No, you're not, because it's really important to you. You're willing to challenge. You're willing to tell the truth. You're driven to tell the truth because the outcome is important. And so, as we go forward, we'll talk more about the courage economy, how to build an organization where truth is the rational choice. So, I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to continuing this conversation. And look me up on Substack, thane.substack.com. Look me up at my website, belomoleadership.com, and look me up on LinkedIn. And, I put out all kinds of resources and articles that further this conversation. So thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.